Don't tell me what I gotta do. Yeah, I helped defend these scumbags, but that's my job, Robbie. I was doing my job.
Yeah. You and everyone else.
Well, Grandma, what did you think of Spotlight?
I thought it was fascinating. It was, for an outsider, an inside look at how a newspaper who has an important story to cover, how they actually work on following up on the leads, getting the people interviewed, and it was very, very interesting. Of course, I not personally a member of the Catholic Church, but I do understand the reticence of the people that they wanted to talk to about what they were discovering, and the conspiracy of silence, I think is what they call it, when nobody wants to talk about what everybody knows is going on. That was very clear, and it was extremely well done. I thought the movie makers did a really, really good job of following our team of spotlight reporters as they tracked down the information they needed, and how difficult that was in 2001 in Boston, where everybody knew what was going on, but nobody wanted to talk about it, much less actually point fingers at any of the perpetrators here. There are Catholic churches everywhere, and as several of the people they interviewed, even the victims, mentioned, it was like talking to God, or being approached by God. At first you felt pleased and honored and delighted that God, in the person of this priest, recognized you as someone special. Everyone likes to feel special. Okay, this is cool. Whatever he usually asks me to do, I definitely will do that, because I admire him and oftentimes loved him, and wanted to please. So when your newspaper reporters come up against all these multiple barriers to the story, the more and more it developed, the more and more determined the reporters were to actually get the facts. And even they, as experienced reporters, expressed astonishment when they discovered how wide the problem was.
I thought it was also a good movie. The story was, again, quite involving, and the acting was all very good. I think this is a story that would more often be sort of written in a book or in a several part series or a magazine article or something like this. The sort of how this story was found and all that sort of stuff that's this sort of a story. This doesn't lend itself to a movie necessarily. Again, I think they did a pretty good job with it. The problem that they have to a certain degree is all the detail.
How do you present this story?
Yeah, again, you had 4 different reporters all going after the same story.
The nitty gritty of finding the information.
Yes, but they were all, to a certain degree, going after different stories,
Yes.
or different parts of the
Yes.
same story.
Mhm.
And the audience watching the film is at a bit of a disadvantage versus somebody who's, say, reading a book or reading an article or something like that, in that you can't go back and refer to parts of the book or parts of the article when something else comes up later, like a name or a place or a situation.
You want to check, oh yeah, that was back.
So I remember that from earlier on. And again, a bit of the problem that they have in the movie is that they have a lot of detail, and it's a lot for the audience to keep up with. I mean, it gives you something to do in a way. I mean,
you have to pay attention.
Yeah, well, not even just pay attention. You really had to sort of put it all together. You're in a way trying to put the whole story together.
Like the reporters were.
Yeah, well, I mean, in a way,
We as
sort of
the
like
audience were doing
the
that
editor,
too.
really, because again, you were having to bring it all together. You weren't doing parts of it; you were bringing it all together, and to a certain degree, that I think hampered the film.
I hope the methodical pace won't put people off, because
It's a slow pace.
It is a methodical, slow pace, because that's the truth.
Mm.
That is the truth. If you're going to actually, against all of the resistance that they encountered, if you're actually going to get to the truth, you have to hang in there.
Mm.
You have to keep plugging. You have to keep plodding. You have to keep insisting. You have to go back and go back.
Well,
and go back.
in a lot of ways, to anybody who's, say, gone to college, it's like watching somebody do a term paper or a research paper, because you're following them around,
Gathering the information,
doing interviews, going to
and
libraries,
then doing the writing.
And again, it's not that interesting. And again, it's a credit to the actors. I think mainly, not so much the director or even the screenwriter, but to the actors, that they keep your attention and keep you interested. So, well, how would you wind it up there, Grandma? What would your final analysis be here for today's movie?
This was a true story, and to me it was fascinating to see how the reporters who were assigned to this story, how they followed the clues to the truth, to unearth a most uncomfortable truth in their hometown, in the town that they lived in, not even realizing how worldwide this problem would be. But I thought it was extremely well done. I would recommend that everyone see it, because it clarified and amplified, put a microscope on what you have to do to get to the truth sometimes, and how important it is to hang in there, to not give it up, but to get it, especially when it's a very important truth. I would recommend it. 2 thumbs up.
I'd recommend it too. Again, I think it's not the sort of movie for everybody, but I thought it was interesting, and the actors all did a good job.
They were wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah, I totally believe them. They were very, very good.
It was good.